So all over social media, you've got thousands of videos from Amazon FBA gurus, where each one of them is selling you the dream of getting rich, living the laptop lifestyle, quitting your 9 to 5, and being your own boss. But how do you know what the truth is? Who can you actually trust? Who's bending the truth? Is Amazon FBA actually as good as what they're telling you? And who is just downright lying to you? So in this video, I am going to dive into some of the biggest, fattest, juiciest lies that I hear on so many YouTube videos, on TikTok videos, all over the place by some of the less trustworthy Amazon FBA gurus. And the reason that I'm doing this, right, is because I think as an industry, we do not do enough to call some of this bullshit out. And because we don't do that, you get people like Seth Kniep from Just One Dime. So at one point, Seth had the biggest Amazon FBA YouTube channel ever. You couldn't search anything on YouTube without coming across one of his videos. So Seth went from selling a course to selling an automation service. And Seth, selling his automation services to innocent people, scammed over $30 million. $30 million that people paid him because they trusted him based on his lies, that is completely gone forever. Then you got people like Kevin David, who has been around for God knows how long. He's been scamming people, misleading them, lying to them, selling them his crappy course and his automation services for so long that he is also now facing multiple lawsuits. And then on the lower end of the scale, you've got hundreds of YouTube gurus who don't actually have a clue what they're doing. They're making videos and tutorials to lead you to believe that they do because they want to sell you their cheap course. They don't actually sell on Amazon themselves. They don't know what works and what doesn't work. They just know they want to make money from you by selling a course that's probably going to cost you more money than it's actually going to make you. All right, so let's take a look at some of these big, fat, juicy Amazon FBA guru lies. The first one is that you need way more money than they're leading you to believe. So some of the most viewed videos on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram go something like this.
Product over here is making this much a month on Amazon. Margins are usually around 25 to 50%, which means the seller gets to take home around $125,000 every single month. What would you do if you had that much extra cash every month?
So these gurus, what they're doing is they're showing you products that are doing huge numbers in revenue. And they're implying that you can do exactly the same. And the truth is that you can, but you need way more money to get to that level of revenue than what they're telling you that you need. They don't want to tell you the truth about how much money you need to invest because they don't want to scare you away from buying their course. They want you to think that with $4,000, you can launch a product and get to $50,000 a month. And that's absolutely nonsense. The truth is that to get to that level, you would either have to invest more money or you would have to constantly reinvest that money over and over for years to get to that point. So it is possible, but not in the exact way that they're leading you to believe. So just over 2.5 years ago, we launched our first product with about $6,000 in total budget. And last month, that same brand did almost $260,000 in revenue and over $60,000 in profit. But we didn't magically turn $6,000 into a business that's generating over $250,000 a month in revenue. Yeah, we started with an initial investment of $6,000, which was great. It's not a huge amount of money. But over time, we've invested more money into the business because we wanted to buy new products and invest in new things so that we could grow faster. So in total, in the past 2.5 years, we've invested over $60,000 into our Amazon brand. But as I said, right, we made over $60,000 in profit last month. So when you think about it, investing $60,000 over the course of about 2 years to build a business that can generate over $500,000 annually in profit, that's a pretty damn good investment. Where else can you get that sort of investment? If you know somewhere, let me know, but I don't know. So this is why in these videos, when a guru shows you a product that's doing huge numbers, they want to make you believe that you can do the same. Yeah, you can, but you need a lot of money to get to that point. But honestly, to launch a product and get it to $30,000 a month, off the bat, you're going to need about $30,000 as a budget. You're not going to launch a product with a $5,000 budget and get immediately to $30,000 in sales. You literally don't have enough money to buy 1 month's worth of stock to keep up with that level of sales. And that's why when I see these videos, I just laugh because it's ridiculous. And honestly, this is why everyone that we teach, we actually explain how much money you're gonna need. We're super transparent about it because we would rather tell you the truth from the beginning, or you're just gonna find out what the truth is later down the line when you don't succeed, and then we've not done our job. So we'd rather tell you the truth, explain to you exactly how much money that you need, then you can pick the right product for your budget, you can pick the right niche, you can start small, you can reinvest, and then if you want to, you can look at investing more money into the business just like we did. All right, so our next big fat, juicy guru lie is that products with low reviews and high demand are low competition. So this might be my favorite Amazon FBA guru fallacy. So you've probably heard a ton of gurus saying things like this.
So here, set the maximum reviews to 300. Reviews is how we determine how competitive a niche is, so you want to find niches that have low competition. Niches where most of the listings have a lot of reviews will be much more difficult and expensive to break into.
Review count. I always like to have some reviews in the products that I am trying to sell because products with way too many reviews are obviously saturated. So an ideal review count is totally up to you, but I like to start at 5 and let's put in 500.
All right, so let's just stop for a little second, right? Think about this. You've got videos that have got tens, if not hundreds of thousands, in some cases, hundreds of thousands of views, where you've got an Amazon FBA guru.
We don't want to go too low here because Amazon's fixed fees will kind of eat into our margin there.
Telling you to use Jungle Scout, use Helium 10, whatever it is, to look for products that have got high demand, between $25 to $35, that have got less than 300 reviews. So their logic is that this means that those products are low competition. They're low competition because they've got low reviews and they're still selling really well. So that's an opportunity for you to come in, for you to get rich. Well, think about this for a second. What do you think happens when you've got tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people using the exact same filters, looking at the exact same products? They all find the same products. So what happens here is you'll end up looking at the same shit that everyone else is looking at. You see a bunch of products with low reviews and high revenue, so you think this niche is crazy low competition and I can get rich. So you go to Alibaba, you source that product, you add your own logo, you do some nice branding, you make a nice listing, you order 300 units. I'm not sure why you order 300, but that's another thing that these gurus say that doesn't make any sense. And then 4 months after you first found that product, you finally order it, and 2 months later, it arrives at Amazon. So in total, from start to finish, it's taken you 6 months. But in that 6 months, there's been another 250 plus people that have found the same products as you, and they've got it to market either before you or at the same time. So this is exactly what happened with a bunch of people that have personally reached out to us for help. They found a product like these foil drawer organizers. They saw that in the niche, there was sellers with less than 300 reviews that were absolutely killing it. Some of them were doing over $100,000 a month in revenue. And they thought, well, if they can do that with no reviews, we can do the same. But by the time that they got to market, this niche was absolutely flooded with new sellers. The price had tanked, and nobody was making any money apart from the Chinese sellers that were sat at the very top. They were sat there at the top because they could afford rock bottom prices. So please, 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 if there's one thing that you take away from this video, well, apart from not listening to stupid gurus, if there's another thing that you take away from this video, please stop doing your product research by filtering for products that have got low reviews and high demand. If you want to see how product research is actually done, go and check out this video where I did 40 minutes of live product research and I actually show you what you should be looking for. All right, so this next one is not really a lie, right? It's more of something that Amazon gurus, they love to say that, in my opinion, is just kind of wrong. Most of them, they don't really even realize themselves why it's wrong. There's no winning products. So Amazon gurus absolutely love to talk about winning products. I see it everywhere.
In this YouTube video, I will be revealing to you the top 5 winning products to sell on Amazon FBA that make over $10,000 every single month.
They talk about winning products as if all you need to do is find some holy grail product on Alibaba that none of the other 10,000 people doing product research at the same time, none of those people found. It's just you. You managed to stumble across something that's going to make you rich. And I'm going to say it, the product itself is not as important as you think it is. Top Amazon sellers can honestly make almost any product work. with the right budget and the right execution. Now that doesn't mean that you should just launch any product, but honestly, if you give a beginner and an experienced seller the same product, it's super likely that the successful seller is going to make that product work and the beginner is going to launch it and it'll be a flop. And the reason for that is because the experienced seller, they know how to properly launch a product on Amazon. They know that you need a big enough budget to order 3 to 4 months worth of stock. They know how to create a super high quality listing. They know how to do PPC. They know that you need to invest in super high quality visual branding and you need to get a proper graphic designer. They know all of those things because the experienced seller is following a proper proven playbook. They're following a playbook for launching products on Amazon that the beginner has no idea about. The beginner's just taking swings in the dark with no real strategy. And these gurus, they're teaching you the wrong way to think about product research. They're making you think that everything is about the product, when almost everything is about the product execution. It's about how you launch it on Amazon. It's less so about the actual product itself. So this way of thinking that you need to find a winning golden product, a holy grail product, it's holding you back from actually picking a product and a niche and going on to have success. The product itself obviously is important. I'm not trying to say that it's not. Well, I kind of did, but it is important. But even the best product in the world is going to be a flop if you don't know how to launch it. And that leads me into my next big fat guru lie, that you're going to be making 35 to 45% profit margins. So this is one of the biggest things that most gurus, they really exaggerate about. You know, that the profit margins are just not as high as what they're saying.
For example, this product is making over $263,000 a month in monthly revenue. And with a 41.3% profit margin, which comes out to over $100,000 a month in net profit.
So right now, our profit margins, they're falling somewhere between 25 and 30%. But for the entirety of last year, we were closer, honestly, to about 16%. Now, the vast majority of Amazon sellers, they operate somewhere between 15 and 20% margins. Some of the big 8-figure sellers, they might be even closer to 10%. Yet every video where you see an Amazon guru talking about products, they're telling you to expect 30 to 40% margins. Or they talk about their students and they say their students are making 35% net profit. Some of them are even trying to tell you that they themselves make 40, sometimes even 50% margins on their products. And it's absolutely nuts. Nobody is making those margins on Amazon. If on the rare occasion they do actually show you their results, it's usually going to be a seller central screenshot where they're showing you the revenue. But then what they do is they talk about their net profit margins and they'll say that it's 35, maybe even 45%. And yeah, it's just not true. It is possible to get over that 25, 30% mark, but it's not easy. And it's really, really rare. It's way more likely that you'll fall into that 15 to 20% margin mark that most successful sellers do. And the point is that that margin is still really healthy. As long as it gives you a good return on your money, that's great. Now, again, this is something that they're exaggerating because they want you to think that if you do $10,000 a month in revenue, that you're going to be printing cash and making $4,000 a month in profit in your back pocket, which, yeah, okay, it is possible in very, very rare instances, but it's much more likely that it's going to be lower than that. And I think for you, right, as a beginner getting into Amazon, you should know exactly what the truth is. You should know what you're getting into. You wouldn't go into another business model. You wouldn't open a cafe or open a restaurant thinking that your realistic profit margin is going to be 35%, when in reality, it's not going to be anywhere near that. So why should Amazon FBA be any different? I want you to know exactly what you're getting into. All right, so next up, we've got this infamous buzzword every single Amazon guru loves: passive income. Now, let's quickly clear this up, right? You can scale to the point where Amazon FBA is relatively passive. But as a beginner, you're going to need to do a lot of work and it takes up a lot of time to get everything up and running. So gurus, they make it sound like in 2 to 3 months, you can launch a product, be making $10,000 a month in profit, working from your laptop, sat on a beach somewhere, and you've told your boss to go fuck himself. But it's just not really true. So our brand right now, as I mentioned, it's doing pretty damn well. We're making more money than I ever thought was possible. I never thought that we would get to the point where we're making over $60,000 a month in profit. But we've literally worked on this now every single day for almost 3 years. Now, if you're somebody that sees working on something every day as a positive thing, and you're somebody that thrives on achieving big goals, and you do want to show up and put in the work because you're passionate about it, then hearing this might not necessarily be a bad thing. But if you're somebody that's really busy and maybe you've got 2 hours a week free, then you're probably going to struggle to make this work. It's not a side hustle where you don't need to put in the time, where you just throw money at it and it spits money back out. You really do need to be able to put in a lot of time and a lot of effort into getting the thing up and running and doing it in the right way. It's a real business. So learning everything, it takes time, especially if you do it on your own. You know, you really need to come into this thinking and understanding that it's a business for the next few years. It's going to take you at least 4 to 6 months to get your first product live. And even then, you've got to be doing work to continue to grow that individual product and the business itself. And yeah, it's true, right? If you're smart, you can learn how to outsource a lot of the most time-consuming tasks. So you can hire a VA in the Philippines to do a lot of the manual work for you. You can start in the beginning with the mindset of trying to minimize the amount of time that you spend on the business, and you can still, do it really well. But the idea that it's completely passive income is just false. It's not like investing in a business and getting dividends for doing nothing. Like anything, if it's worth doing, it takes time. But honestly, if you stick to it, it's definitely worth it. All right, so I know a lot of the points that I made in this video might make Amazon FBA seem a bit shit, a bit negative. They probably go against what you've heard from other gurus. Well, I know they do, that's why I made the video. But honestly, we're living proof that Amazon FBA is still an amazing business opportunity. Our business is growing exponentially, and in the next few years, we are going to become millionaires when we sell our brand. And there's still so much opportunity to make really great money selling your own branded products, creating your own brands, doing Amazon FBA in the right way. And on top of that, you're going to be learning invaluable skills that you can use for a ton of different businesses. And if you approach it in the right way, you can build a real business that, as I said, we're trying to do. You can go on and sell it for a life-changing amount of cash. But please stop listening to these nonsense gurus that are lying and stretching the truth because they want you to buy their course. The chances are, if they never show you their actual results, which even some of the biggest YouTubers with the most views never actually do if you dive into it, the chances are that they don't really know what they're doing. They're not really selling on Amazon themselves. And I think they shouldn't really be trusted. I think you should listen to the people that are actually showing they sell on Amazon right now and are giving you real solid advice. All right, that's it for this one. Go and watch this video where I did 45 minutes or 40 minutes of live product research so you can actually go on and find a product, start a brand, and get rich.